So let's summarize what we've discussed in the last couple of lectures in case you're still confused. First, we discussed actions. And actions are used to enable developers to modify your code without actually editing your files. So for example, we mentioned that if you want to allow the other developers to add some code in this after the pagination, you can create an action and call doAction and give it a name. So this way other developers can hook into this part of the code and add some code. And this is done by calling a function called addAction and attaching or registering a function to this hook. And we've seen how to do that in the last lecture. We've also seen that you can pass arguments to actions. So for example, WordPress has an action called pgetPosts. And the function used to register an action get past the current instance of the WP query. And we then discussed filters. And the difference between actions and filters is that, in actions, you allow the other person to write some code at some point in your code. So here we allow other developers to write code in this part of the code. In filters, however, you allow other developers to modify just something you output in your theme. So you get an input, you filter it, and you return it. You're not allowed to do further than that. So in our case, we were echoing this string, escaped and translated, and we wanted to allow other developers to filter it, right? So we called apply filters and give it a name and the thing that we want to filter, and then using the add filter function, we add a function to the filter name that we gave, and in the function we have the thing that we want to filter as an argument. So we can modify it and return it, or we can return in a completely new string as we did here. So that's mainly the difference between filters and actions. And then we mentioned that we have a problem that we are allowing other developers to interact with our theme, but to do that they will have to modify functions.php to hook into our actions and filters. So modifying the functions.php file is actually modifying the theme, and if a theme gets an update, everything they've written here will be gone. And we mentioned that the solution to this is child themes. So child themes are themes that inherit all the functionality of the parent theme, but it can modify it or add to it. And the main advantage to child themes is, as we've been mentioning, you can modify the parent theme while allowing them to be updated without destroying your changes. So let's create a child theme. It's a very simple procedure. So in my themes folder inside WP contents, the same folder where we have our main theme, let's copy the theme names and create a new folder, and you should call it the same name, the same parent's theme name, and then -child. And then I'm gonna add this folder to our VS Code project. So add folder to workplace, and then this one. So we now have the two folders here. We can browse through them. So in the child theme, let's create a new file, and this will be style.css. Similar to the parent theme, when we have the information in the style.css, we can actually copy it and paste it in the child theme's style.css. So of course in production your theme will be called first theme. So you can call this first theme child, and you can change these, but what's important is now you should add a new field called template, and this should be your parent's theme name, which is first theme. And you should also change the text domain to something unique, so we can call it first theme child, and I think that's it. We can save it, and then let's go to the WP admin. And login, and let's actually remove this pink color, it's kind of annoying. So source assets and admin. Great. So now go to appearance and themes, and the color is still cached. and we'll find your child theme here. So activate it. And if you find your CSS isn't changing, you can, in Chrome, you can just enable and disable this. And here you go. So now we have our child theme activated. So our website will look exactly the same, because we still have the functionality of our parent theme, but now we can add to it or modify it in our child theme. So let's go to our child theme folder, and our problem that we wanted to have these functions in a child theme, right? So let's copy them, all the filters and the actions, and we can simply create a new file in the child theme called functions.php. And this will not override your original functions.php file in the parent theme, it will just extend it. So let's open PHP and paste. So let's save and see if our actions and filters are still. And here you go, our actions and the filters is working because we have 2 posts. We have 3 posts because this is a sticky post, in case you're wondering. If you go to the second page, we still have 2 posts. So we've done it. We've created a child theme, and we have our functions.php now that can extend our original functions. So what we can also do with child themes, we can override template files. So if we create a new file called index.php, this file will actually override completely the original file. So now if we refresh, we will have a blank file. So let's delete this, and this will apply to any template file in your theme. You can override it with a child theme. So let's delete this for now. Another thing I want to point out in child themes is when you reference a file in your theme. So let's say we want to include a new style sheet in our child theme. So let's create a new file. It's called, I don't know, bundle.css. And let's add a background to the body. And let's use our favorite color. So it's exactly the same thing when we include the CSS in our parent theme. Only a little difference that we see. So that would be include scripts. So this is an action, and we just need to give it a function. So let's call it first theme child scripts, and let's create the function. And like we did in the parent theme, that would be include style, and first theme child styles. So here, when we wanted to reference the file, we used get template directory URI, right? So get template directory URI will always reference the parent theme, even if you use it in a child theme. So to reference a file inside the child theme, we use get stylesheet directory URI. So this will always reference the active theme, even if it's a child theme. Get template directory URI, however, will always reference the parent theme, even if you use it in a child theme. So this is important. So our path is simply styles.css. So next we need to add our dependencies and media. So the media is all, and we also have the version. So let's say 1.0. And the dependencies, we can actually add, it's an array of dependencies, so we can add this file as a dependency to our parent file, to our parent styles. So the handle for our parent style sheet was theme name dash style sheet, which in production of course will be your theme name dash style sheet, but in order to work we'll use the theme name placeholder. So we can make the child styles depend on the parent styles, so this way it will be enqueued after it in order to override it. If we don't do that, if we leave that as an empty array, the functions.php file for the child theme will run first. So probably you will have your child theme enqueued first and it will be overridden by the parent theme. So adding this dependency will ensure it's added after the parent style sheet. So let's save this and see what happens. So let's view the source. So it looks like we've done something wrong. Okay, so we call this bundle.css not styles. Should work, I think. Okay, so I could discover that I have a typo here. Sorry for that. And it should work now. And as you can see in the source, we can see that we have our theme name style sheet and our first theme child styles enqueued after it. So this is how we enqueue a style sheet in our child theme to override our parent style sheet. So last thing I want to mention in child themes for now is, as I mentioned, the functions.php of the child theme runs before the functions.php of the parent theme. So if we, for example, let's open the helpers functions. So let's say we want to override this function in our child theme. So let's create a function with the same name. Let's just make it echo some string here. So what will happen now is, of course, this will give us an error because we are duplicating the function's name. Let's remove the pink background. So the solution to this, if you want to allow child themes to override your parent theme functions, you can, in your functions in the parent theme, so in the helpers folder, you can check first if function exists. So if function exists and the name of the function, or actually if function does not exist. If it does not exist, or if it's not overridden by a child themes, so define it. If it already exists, if it's already defined by child theme, so don't do anything. So this way we'll have the, the meta string here is now the child theme function. So you can do this if you want to allow child themes to override your functions. So I think that's it for child themes for now. During the course we will get back to this child theme and see what other things we can do. So see you in the next section.